Parishorphans and retrogrades, yo, 50,000 subscribers strong. The channel is at this point, and boy, are we excited about it. We're so happy to have you with us. Thank you, all Parishorphans and retrogrades, for making this show 50,000 subscribers strong. As promised, it only took about a month to close the deal on the last subscribers we needed to get to 50,000 subscribers. There's going to be two major announcements, the first of which just momentarily will be revealed, and the second of which we'll do at the end of the show. I can't say what it means to me, what it means to Steph, and the intimate friends of this show besides the stakeholders in the intellectual property or whatever, what it means to have 50,000 subscribers out there on YouTube who are willing, who have stuck the course with us, who've stayed afloat with us, saying 100% of the truth. And I know that when you're talking publicly and you're willing to say, I'm going to say 85% of it and cut off the rough edges for 15% or even 10% or even 5%, that there's a disproportionate demographic share of viewership you can pick up by cutting off 10 or even 5% of the most harsh aspect of the message. And we have never done that. And so it means a lot to hit a milestone like 50,000 subscribers. I've always insisted from day one running this channel, no censorship. If someone who is a crowdfunder or one of the many tech channels needed to do this full time, which I do now, I have to be willing to dispense with it. So, in Weber's spirit of capitalism, he cites a thinker who says that, wealth is not bad as long as it's worn like a light cloak and it doesn't become an iron cage, the wealth that you have. That's how we use technology here at Rules for Retrogrades, and that's how we regard saying things that please people. It's great when I do a show and you guys are excited. I'm excited. I do shows and it doesn't gel with everyone. Just now it sounds like E. Michael Jones has declared Taylor Marshall and me like the equivalent of anti-pope. I'm just hearing that from my friend Joe. I'm not trying to displease people, particularly folks like Jones who have said such important things, whom I respect. Now, there's a lot of people out there I don't respect that talk nonsense nonstop, just nothing but noise on the internet, because the internet's a mean place. And I'm not trying to make any of these people mad, but it's 100% of the truth all the time. And you're with this guy on X, me. You knew me from the days on Taylor Marshall's channel. We're together lockstep on X, on Pope Francis, and on Go to the Latin Mass. But then there's small divergences between me and X. And then so you focus on saying why, which might have been the divergence with that other guy. And then you start building rapport with this kind of audience, but then they don't like Z. And then you go to Alpha and you say that, and the Z people don't like Alpha, and you go to Beta, and the Alpha people don't like Beta, and you're building audiences around the message, sub-audiences. And most of what I'm saying goes together. We call it Roman Catholicism. It all goes together. conservative Roman Catholicism, trad Roman, whatever it is. It's a worldview, but there's not perfect consensus. Even among trad Catholics, whatever. They thought I should condemn, the Novus Ordo Mass, or they thought I should condemn, say Pope Francis isn't the Pope, or other ones thought, you should never be able to appeal to Canon 212 to critique the Pope. Novus Ordo and trad Catholics alike aren't harsh enough on the main issue in society, which is feminism. It's rotting families from the inside out. And the fact that we've hit 50K means a lot to me. It means a lot more to me because we've never shorn a point, even if it means these fellow travelers are going to be alienated. Well, that's fine. I don't celebrate it, but we just have to do 100% of the truth. We've had a lot of people that say, we want to work with you, but do 95%. All we need you to do is shear off 5%. And I'm like, you don't know how tempting that is. I'm flesh and blood, but can't do it. And that's how everyone tells me business is done. You take the 95% and you go with the big names. You go on the big channels. I've been on the big names and big channels. But it means extra much that you guys have stuck with it for 50,000. However far we end up getting, if we get all the way to 100, great. If not, if I get kicked off before then, great. The big message, there are 4 pillars of this channel. It's re-education through, in some ways, through classical education. And other people would say, no education, don't go to college. Homeschool your kids, have them marry as young as you can get them married off. So education. Right-wing community organizing is the other pillar. The other one is subsidiarity. I have books on each of these 4 pillars. And the last one that's really preoccupied my efforts and my labors and my time over the last 2 years has been patriarchy, which fits like a wink and a smile with subsidiarity. And that's the big one. That's been the big one where people get alienated. Even right-wing Catholics are like, that this is too much of the truth. You can't say it all the time. I don't care what St. Paul said in the Bible. I don't care what the church has taught for 2,000 years. I don't care what all the 20th century popes say about feminism. That's been the issue that has really set this channel apart. I mean, people will say, wow, you're really going to stump for subsidiarity in Catholic Republic. Isn't this too close to classical liberalism, man? No, I don't care whether you consider it too close or whatever. It's distinguishable. Maybe it's close, maybe it's not. But here's what it is: subsidiarity. Okay, well, that's how I kind of started out, was with my first book, Catholic Republic. It's my favorite book that I've written. But what's preoccupied my labors, and will continue to do so over the next year, is feminism, patriarchy, the foils. And it's going to do so over the course of the next year in a new way. And I promised that this would inform the essential part of my first announcement today. And I'd just like to tend to it. What do you think, Steffi? Steph's not on her mic as usual.
I agree.
So let's do it. Let's tend to big announcement, 50,000 subscribers. Number 1, let's roll that tape.
No one is happy until they live in accordance with the natural law. And yet there seems to be nothing more dangerous than to describe what a woman truly is and ought to be. But let's give it a shot.
So that is the world premiere of the trailer put together by the talented man to my left, Mr. Nicholas Stumphauser, for a movie that's going to be released in fall called What a Woman Is. Nick.
Timothy.
Yo, You're here in studio, and of course we podcast together on on Fridays.
Yeah, but I followed you out here.
Yeah, so you're moving into your place today. You've moved to Hattiesburg, and you're director of 6 films. This is going to be lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7. That's good.
And yeah, so we put this thing together all fall, and have been. I'm the guy that pitched you. What about a movie on the bookcase for Patriarchy? And we spent fall running around and trying to arrange things. Would you want to say anything about that? It's gonna break the internet.
Yeah, well, I was listening to your preamble, and I thought it was funny that Catholic Republic is your favorite book and your favorite subject, which aligns, of course, with the stuff you studied the most. But I'm reminded of many stories, Harry Potter being one of them, Lord of the Rings being one of them, where oftentimes responsibility is put on somebody's shoulders and they never asked for it. And even though this isn't your favorite subject of the subjects, I know you're very passionate about it, and it seems like the mantle has been placed on your shoulder to carry the torch as far as you possibly can in this lifetime. I think I told you, man, how long ago was it? I said, if all you did your entire life was patriarchy, it would have been a life well lived. Do you remember when I told you that?
Yeah, like 2 months ago.
And that's true. And so, man, 6 months ago, you put the bug on my ear. He's like, hey, what if we adapted the case for patriarchy? And I thought about it. I didn't really understand how that would be the case. And then you brought it up again. Hey, what if we adapted the case for patriarchy? And I really took a deep dive into the material with you. And we realized that 5% adherence that matters so much, nobody's willing to talk about. And it's the 5% that matters most, and it's the 5% that's most interesting to everybody. And it sounds glib to say, like, oh, your work has impacted my life. Like, your work has deeply transformed my life, and I know it's impacted many people's lives, 50,000 obviously subscribers, but to like transform a life, to change someone's life, that's what we're going to highlight in this film. And it's something that I care deeply about because I'm a romantic. I know you're a romantic at heart, and we love love. And really the subject of all of this is, don't be confused about love. Don't be confused about what you are so that you can have true love. So this isn't going to be a provocateur movie. We're not trying to just inflame people. We're trying to give them hope and clarity about who they are. And if, like it says in the clip with the dulcet tones of whoever that narrator may have been, that until you live in accordance with that natural law, you're not going to be happy.
Right.
And so I'm very excited that, even though I keep saying, man, I really want to get out of doc work, and you dragged me back into doc work, that I think this is a doc that, instead of just scaring the crap out of people, oh, you're going to die, which, the doc work I've done in the past, I'm exceptionally proud of. I stand behind all of what I've put into the world, but it was about the worst parts of the world. And this isn't a woman-hating film. This isn't a man-hating film. This is a human-loving film and a love-loving film, and that just gets me endlessly excited.
Yeah, like you've done 6 films. Your last one went largest, right? Like it's hard to approximate exactly how many views you had, but you had 8 figures of views.
8 figures, like high 8 figures in 12 different languages. I don't know if we could say the title on here, but it was written. So
yeah, I just want to say that, we were friends first, so I wasn't gold mining. I approached Nick with the case for patriarchy. You're a young guy on the hunt, and I knew you subscribed to these ideas. I was like, look, here's the idea. Would you do this? So I approached you, knowing that your last film, went mega large, 8 figures, and lots of names way bigger than Timothy J. Gordon approached Nicholas A. Stumphauser to make movies for them. So lots of names, but this was me approaching you, And if we could get 1/50th of the viewers that you got from your last film, very, very, kind of the film of the year in 21, right? 22. 22. In many ways, the conservative film of 22, which is why so many, all the biggest conservatives have come for you. Then it would be amazing, because you say it's a film about loving love, which it is. It's an absolutely loving film. There's a 12-minute sizzle reel out there that I just love. I think it's the 12 minutes that are best. But no one's ever.
It's the greatest thing in the history of film.
No one ever gets to see that. Nick is obsessed with the not revealing the method, the prestige, and all that. He's also a very talented magic man. Like literally, he like sleight of hand. This is, you're just a wonder kind. And so I'm always bothering you. Let's. This is me. I'm the big mouth, host of Rules for Retrogrades. I always want to reveal what I have. I don't like sitting on what I have. And you're like, no, because that's 12 minutes. The movie's going to be whatever, 75, 80, 85.
I'm shooting for around 90. I think to explore, Tim's writing, helping me write the film. He's obviously the creator of the intellectual property of the film, and therefore the thesis of it, upon which all of the points will be made. But you can't just give people the raw PhD thesis. They'll zone out. You have to show them how it applies to their reality.
Yeah.
And the good news is your thesis has applied to my reality, and then the reality of the people in our lives who you've transformed. There's like human beings that exist because of the case for patriarchy that didn't exist before. There's marriages, there's unions that exist that didn't exist prior to. And that is what we're going to be focusing on, not here's 26 points about why feminism's bad.
When you and I we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, when sometimes conservatives get into like guns in a way where it becomes almost like a Republican membership, NRA membership, and you're like, I shoot targets on steel, and I'm like, but here the real fun thing with guns is hunting. Like it's killing stuff. That's what they're for, is killing animals and chasing the animal and respecting the animal and all that. Is it becomes like a mantra. But it's true. You hunt the animal, that's the thrill, and you use the gun. It's a step in the process. Whereas you can make guns into some corny badge or calling card. You're saying, I hear you saying, this movie is not a corny, provocative, like conservative calling card, but people are going to take it that way because it's what we're saying is deeply offensive. And like Sister Lucy said regarding Fatima, the final attack of the devil on the world is on the family, and it's been underway for about 100 years in the offing. And like, I don't know how to say it best. I say it on page 4 of the case for patriarchy. The final step is not in what's called dysphoria modernly. True dysphoria is when a woman thinks she acts like she's a man, and she makes her husband act like he's the woman, and that's tearing like 999 out of every 1,000 families apart. The modern expression of dysphoria affects like one. It's probably whatever. It affects like 1 out of less than 1,000 people or something. Anyway, somewhere around there. Well, 999 out of 1,000 are influenced by this adversely. And so people are going to take it like it's provocateur, but it really is just a film. It's an ode to love.
Yeah. And that's what we do with return matchmaking.
Yep.
And that's what we do with something else that we'll announce a little bit later this year. Not to keep teasing announcements, but
that's what we do every day of our lives.
Yes. It's an ode to love. No, but it is, because like what's fascinating, and we made this point on a sea mask, I think 2 sea masks ago, was that if feminism is the non serviam of patriarchy, I will not serve, then by definition it becomes Luciferian, because the ultimate patriarchy is Christianity in submission to the Father, God the Father, and Christ. And then because there's a lay patriarchy that God instantiated, the non-submission to that is the same Luciferianism that Lucifer said to God, which is, I will not serve, I'd rather reign in hell than serve in heaven. And so you have like a cosmic battle, basically. And, you know, it's not the WEF, it's not the they that you have to focus on trying to take out or push against when your own family is in disarray because you're not a father, your wife's not a wife, and everybody's gender dysphoric. Because the single cell, as you say in Case for Patriarchy, of Western civilization is not the individual but the family. So good luck trying to take back the world without getting your family in order.
Yeah, good luck trying to take back the world by you know, the battle slogan like men are not women. That doesn't matter. What matters is taking back one family at a time, and we have to strike at people's gender dysphoria, which is to say their functional gender dysphoria, not their ontological gender dysphoria. This means men need to act like men, women need to act like women, and they need to be in love with each other for marriages to work. I mean, like, marriage is a sacrament. Christ elevated matrimony to the level of a sacrament at the wedding feast of Cana. But that's not, I mean, that's what enables it all. That's the necessary condition. But there are other necessary conditions, like living it out through your habitus every day. And you have to be in love with love to be in love with your spouse. And that requires extricating the functional gender dysphoria. And that's what the Case for Patriarchy and Steph's book, which also we borrowed pretty heavily from a chapter as we originally conceived of, you know, the what this on screen would look like.
Yeah.
That's what they're all about. So I just want to say, I approached you. I'm so grateful that you gave me a second hearing. And we were already close friends, but and I got the second hearing by virtue of the fact that we're close friends. There are a lot of people that have been passingly interested in working with us on this. And, you know, when it's just business, then it might or might not work out. But thank you for being available to giving me a second hearing when I reached out to you on this entire thing. And also, you know, people saw in the credits there, executive producers of Sound of Freedom, doff of the cap to them. We appreciate everything from them, and you know, we're just really excited. Everyone wait for this fall. It is going to break the internet. He's all like, it's an ode to love. It's not provocateurism, but it's going to break the internet, and we hope for this thing to be available streaming on demand on things like Amazon. So just wait till fall, people. You are going to be hearing about it from Catholics and non-Catholics alike.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go move 10,000 small items from a car into a home.
And people are asking to watch the trailer again, so maybe I'll play that on your way out, Nick.
There you go. All right, that's exciting. Yeah.
All right.
I wish Nick would let me show the sizzle reel, but he never will.
It's never going to happen.
It's so good.
All right, here's the trailer again. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
No one is happy until they live in accordance with the natural law. And yet there seems to be nothing more dangerous than to describe what a woman truly is and ought to be. But let's give it a shot.
Sir. We have some calls now. It took me only 4 years to try to figure out how to run this technology, so let's see if it works. First call coming through, and this will be a surprise to Tim in order, is Frank.
Frank,
can you hear
Franklin?
us? Just one second,
he's
Frank. I'm just going to put you on speaker. There you go. All right, sorry. Go right ahead.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Got you, Frank. What's up, buddy?
Well,
How are you?
Listen, I just wanted to call in and congratulate the whole team over there on 50K. It's very well deserved. I found your work, Tim, years ago when you were. It was your series of Fatima episodes that you did with Taylor Marshall, and this is right around the time where I became a little bit more curious about the things that I might have missed when I was growing up over here in New York. And to not take up too much time, I want to read something to you. This is something that is not uncommon with me over here, and I think it goes to attest to your work as an individual, and especially all the times that we have spent hanging out on my show as well. It's an email I received, and I said, like I said, not uncommon. Hey, Frank, I want to thank you for embarrassing me in front of my friends. Honestly, a few months back, you had Timothy Gordon on, and it changed my life. I've always been a logical person, sometimes to a fault. When I was 12, I decided God didn't exist because I prayed for something superficial and nothing came of it. A lifetime of growing up in liberal state reinforced that sentiment. At age 30, I listened to your show with Timothy Gordon, and I remember thinking halfway through, if I don't have the spontaneous revelation at this point, I don't think you can convince me that God exists. Well, about 5 minutes later, you began to read that infographic on Thomas Aquinas' 5 ways of proving the existence of God. And by the end, I paused and I said, well, crap. Since then, I've been walking around in a stupor, realizing now that I believe in God. A few days ago, I confided in a friend about this moment, and he began laughing, and he said, wait, really? I remember you shouting at me, saying that you know for a fact that God doesn't exist. But thoroughly embarrassed I am over the past actions that we proceeded to have a fantastic conversation about our existence and the universe overall. I wouldn't have had that beautiful moment without you, Tim, and the rest of the audience. I'm grateful. Since then, I've been exploring the Bible. I've been trying to improve my habits. I listen to your show every morning. Thank you for all that you do, all the effort you put into the show, and know that you're changing people's minds simply by being curious. I am now more curious than I was a year ago, thanks to you. That's from a man named Scrappy Pirate. And I just wanted to throw that out there as part of my congratulations, Tim, because, as I said, it is not uncommon, and the work that you do is very valuable, and it makes impact. So thank you for being a friend.
Thank you for being a friend, Frank. It's fitting that you're the first caller in several ways, because we love you, man. It was amazing that we got to meet you a year and a half ago, and that was great. So I love you, man. Thanks for being the first caller. Thanks for reading that, and I love coming on your show. I love having you on my show.
Well, we'll do it more, and we love you all over there too. Have a good one, and thanks again for the tip that this was happening. Congratulations, most well deserved.
God bless you, brother. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
It's quite frankly, everybody. Quite frankly, I just announced him as Frank, and I always call him Franklin. But quite frankly, one of my very topmost favorite channels on content, one of my top 3 content. Everyone go over to Quite Frankly's YouTube channel. Just our one of our bestest buds, and our bestest bud in the greater New York area.
Okay, sir. So we have another call from our buddy Jordan. Let's see here. Let me get him.
Oh, this is
our buddy.
Super fan of the show, who's become an IRL friend. We go to Pels games together, and I get advice on the show where to go from my buddy Jordan. We hang out in real life. Are you there, Jordan?
Yeah, hello, what's up? Y'all hear me?
Yep.
We got
How
you.
are ya?
Oh, good. Man, just wanted to call in and say congrats on 50K. It's a really, really big milestone for all the reasons that y'all laid out. And it was pretty cool because hearing Nick talk about, humans exist because of the case for patriarchy and the work that you and Steph do. And I'm, looking at 2 of them right now in front of me. So, yeah, guys, just really appreciate everything. It was your show, The 9 Secrets to Catholic Marriage, that made me realize, I need to, get to it and propose to my girlfriend. And it happened shortly thereafter. So thank you guys so much for all you do, and congratulations on 50K, man.
Jordan, I love you, man. Don't hop off yet. So at the end of the show, it's fitting you say that. I told people that not only are we friends, and we talk b-ball together, but I really do appreciate advice that you've given me over the months and years on the show, the content, and you telling me that particular episode of Rules for Retrogrades, nine secrets of Catholic marriage, meant so much to you that's why you proposed to Scar. We'll just say I don't know if people know like full names being revealed, but and now you're looking at
What's called it Jordan?
yeah. No, and you guys are going to come on the show soon, and we're going to talk about this. But, buddy, just wait till the end of this show. Wait till the end of this episode, because this is how influential you've been in some of your feedback. Wait until you hear the second announcement we have.
Okay.
I think you know what it is.
Very excited.
Yeah.
And I mean, just like the Retrograde Nation is huge, and it continues to grow. And we've been noticing the little things like Steph playing the old intro music at the beginning and all this type of stuff. So I was watching some old videos earlier, and it's just crazy how much the production quality has increased and the topics and everything. So yeah, man, just congrats and keep doing what you're doing. You're a help to us all.
Thanks, my brother. I love you, man. Thank you.
Love you, man.
All right, we'll see you soon. We're going to watch the Lakers Pels at the end of the season, Jordan and me. Yeah, and throw some tomatoes at LeBron. All right, God bless you, man. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you on the phone later or tomorrow or something.
Okay, next call. I believe this is a supporter of your program on your local subscribe star. By the way, we have this number if you want to call into the show. This is a new feature that we're trying out here on this 50K show. And the number is, if you're a locals or subscribe star call or supporter, that number is on the homepage. So feel free to call in for this open line segment. Hopefully it's going very well.
I think this is fun. This is fun here. Much better than just the comments. So who do we have, Steffi?
Okay.
It's crazy. It's crazy to be able to do this. I love it.
Let's see here. We have, Jacob. Let me see here. Let's patch Jacob through.
What's up, Jacob?
Hey, Gordons. Congratulations on 50K. Great timing, by the way, in the middle of the day. I had to send my wife out to replace me at work with my kid because, gender-conforming roles right there. But seriously, this is awesome. Super congratulations for you guys. I first found out about you, Tim, on Matt Fradd's show, where you talked about the Vatican documents, and that really got me thinking. I was in the middle of my master's program in theological studies, and I had to listen to that show twice because of the points you made were really good, and that kind of hooked me on your personality and your logic and the stuff you had to say. So I ended up actually going all the way back to your first episode and listening all the way through. I've listened to every single Rules for Retrograde show.
Really?
Just
Really?
such a big fan of what you put out there.
That's cool.
It's awesome.
Thanks, man. Do you remember
And
Do you remember the Buster Douglas show? Remember when I had Buster Douglas on the show early on?
yeah.
Crazy.
I do.
I just remembered that
That
one.
was awesome.
It wasn't that crazy? I was going back through the other day and I couldn't. I'm like, I had Buster Douglas on. That was wild. The guy that knocked out Mike Tyson first. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, my favorite character, though, that you had on was Susan from the Parish Council. Do you remember that?
Oh, that was great. That was great.
When is she going to come back on? I've been waiting for like 3 years, man, for Susan to come back on as a featured guest. When's she going to come back?
Susan was having like a bunch of health troubles because she's about 85 in fiction land. But I would love to have Susan back on. I don't know if the real identity of Bruce Wayne has been Batman has been revealed as Bruce Wayne yet. But if you're out there listening, Susan, I would love to have you back on, and I'd love to have you call in right now. But Jacob, thank you for listening to every single show. I think it's hilarious and dope that you prefer Susan to heavyweight champ Buster Douglas. I also had Bone Crusher Smith on the show. That might have only been an audio podcast, but I've had 2 heavyweight champs on this show, in addition to professional athletes of other kinds. So and actors, and yeah, it's really, really cool. So Thank you, man. I appreciate you. It sounds like a cliche because, you know, other people that call in are people that I meet with and hang out with, but because we keep the message so tight, the audience like you, Jacob, that have stuck with us, I promise you this. We don't have a billion friends in the world the way channels who keep the message open-ended and, you know, liberal do. But I feel like we're buddies. So thank you so much, and God bless you, and please keep listening. And I love you, man. Thank you. Thanks for being a retrograde.
Alrighty, so we have now, let's see here. Oh, let's see. Terry.
Is this Terry Barber himself? Terry Geometrius Barber? What's up, Terry?
Tim Gordon, God bless you, brother.
God bless you. How are you doing, my friend? Man.
I am blessed by the best and too anointed to be disappointed, especially to be here with you on this beautiful day of having 50,000 subscribers. I just want to personally congratulate you and your perseverance, and God blessing you and your family in this ministry you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Terry. I always tell people there's a lot of cool Catholics out there who are real ones, but like they're among guys who are a generation older that have been doing this as OGs. There are two that stand above the rest, and I mean that in terms of the message is consistent and it's positive. There's always something that you two guys give, and it's you and Jesse Romero, your brother from another mother.
Yeah.
And I love you guys. You guys are the best of an entire generation. I tell everyone that consistently, and I'm appreciative. I think it's really important for guys in my generation who are doing this, who are, you know, kind of took the torch from you guys. You guys are still doing it, but we look to you two in particular as the best of that entire generation, head and shoulders, as bringers of the word, you know, vocally, orally. And you've been a huge influence on the way that I do this. You and Jesse both. And I don't say that about a bunch of baby boomers. So I love you, man.
Well, I love you too, and I'll just say one of the reasons I love you and your family, and I mean your family of a wonderful bride, wonderful children. But I got to say to the listeners that Tim Gordon never compromises on the truth. And that's one of the reasons I bring you to men's conferences, to our radio show, because we know we're not going to get any watered-down Catholicism. We're going to get the real stuff. And the other thing that your listeners, I know they know this, you've been blessed with a great mind, a Thomistic approach to the faith, which is exactly what the church needs today. So I just want to say thank you for saying yes to doing what you're doing, because not everybody out there could do what you're doing. And I think you're using the gifts God's giving you in a very powerful way.
Thanks so much, Jesse. Terry, tell Jesse too. I was talking to him. I was talking to him last night. Yeah.
Keep up the good work, my brother.
God bless you, brother.
I just want to say one more thing to your listeners.
Yep.
Please continue to support Tim and his family in this work, because he's one of the few out there, really intellectually, and I mean giving you really. You heard G.K. Chesterton say common sense ain't that common. Well, it isn't. And what Tim is giving you is a great philosophical approach to the faith, which is something lacking today. So you're really filling in a big, big gap in the church right now. Thank you so much.
God bless you, Terry. And thank you. Thank you for always bringing me out, always including me in what you and Jesse do. You're the two guys that this is important to have someone to look who went before, and you guys are the two guys of your generation that have inspired me. I remember talking about this with Taylor Marshall back in the day. You guys are the two. So thank you, and God bless you. And
God bless you and your family, Tim.
Peace.
Take care.
Thanks. I love Terry. Terry Barber, one of the nicest dudes around. Been doing it for forever, and still got it. Legit.
Right. So the next we have, and he'll know who he is, a godfather to one of our children, Mr. Stephen Jonathan.
Ah, S.J. Rummelsberg. What's up, Stephen?
Yeah.
Yo.
Hey, Tim, Steph, congratulations on 50,000 subscribers.
Well, thank you, man. You're in,
Godfather, yeah. Oh my gosh, you know I love you guys.
yeah, the
Listen,
Godfather
I want to say a
himself.
couple things, okay?
Yeah.
Am I on?
Yep, you're on.
Tim, I didn't let you talk back. Sorry. But listen, your brother from California, the land of fruits and nuts. I always appreciate your no bullshit or direct approach to things, but especially your philosophical background. Just as Terry just said, absolutely key is that you go deep into things that most people today just don't even think about. And I love that about your show and your direct approach. So I don't know how many times I've been on the show, but just a few days ago, someone posted a comment on one of my videos and said, and I quote, "Oh, you're that crazy guy on the Tim Gordon channel." End quote. And I said, I don't know if that's hostile or friendly, but thanks. So a thing I love, Tim, is you have a very intelligent and faithful fan base, and I always appreciate learning what they think as well, because you can compare your fans to other fan bases, and it's heads and shoulders above. So you have a unique niche, you fill it well, and I look forward to 50,000 more subscribers soon. So congrats, brother.
Thank you, brother. We've known each other for over 10 years now, and I tell you this, Steve. Again, like the retrogrades and parashorvins out there, as a metric, could go toe to toe with any audience out there. Maybe a little smaller than some of the biggest Catholic audiences, but and win. They know in terms of knowledge, temperance, the way they temper the message, and that's so true. But I just want to say, Steve, that you and Faith was part of Steph's Women's Summit a year and a half back, and you guys have been such good friends to Steph and me. In real life, you lived 3 miles from my house when we both lived in Baco, and those were hard times. With Abby being sick, I was still working at the law firm.
Yeah,
and that was, you were just it was you and Faith were like the friends that kept us. Our morale high around the Gordon household when we were going through some really hard times with Abby. And now you're like Catholic education guru, the new kind of Anthony Esselin. I think that the new Catholic education guru, and that's why you come on the show so much. And it's amazing that we're able to do this kind of full time, definitely full time now, whereas we began moonlighting, both of us, over 10 years ago. I think it's really cool. If we could have seen ourselves, where did me and Steph first meet you? We were both writers. We were honorary contributors to
for the Imaginative
Conservative, and we found out that we were the only two people west of the Mississippi River who were regular contributors, or whatever it's called, honorary. And you're like, I live 3 miles from you, and so we met at like California Pizza Kitchen or that restaurant.
That both couples, both Steve and Faith and you and I, each before we met, were like, oh boy, meeting new people never goes well. Let's just get this over with. And like immediately,
we were like best friends. Did we just become best friends?
We hit it off immediately. Yeah.
And then you moved away 6 months later.
I reached out I read one of Tim's articles and I'm like, oh, I love this guy. And then I reached out and discovered we didn't even know that you lived so close.
It was wild. You would like ride your bike to my house. We're a couple of like men in our 40s and above, and you would until you moved away that June. You would come over. We'd hang out like every day. It was like little kids. So I love you, man, and I want to have you on the show again
too,
soon.
Bro. All you guys, love to all you guys. Beautiful family.
Oh.
Yeah, we were like peanut butter and jelly, just like right away.
That's right.
That's right. No Shlomo, but that's true.
That's right.
Tell Faith our love, and I'll call you soon.
All right, bro. Congratulations to all you guys. It's great to talk to you anytime and every time.
Hey, what's your channel? Your channel is City of Truth.
It's City of Truth.
Yeah, everyone go to City of Truth and subscribe. Steve and Jonathan Rummelsberg at the City of Truth. New Catholic channel. I do highlight it sometimes. .co. Okay, do that right now. Go to cityoftruth.co and subscribe. And you also have a YouTube channel still, right?
Yeah, my YouTube channel is rolling.
Awesome.
And that's City of Truth with some numbers after it.
Okay, you can find it if you search there.
City of Truth 9808. Yeah.
Dope. I'll talk to you later today,
Thank you so much.
Thank
God
you, man.
bless you guys.
You too, brother.
And let's connect soon. All right.
We will. Love you, man.
Bye.
Okay, so next we have a female friend of the show. Let's see here. We have Rachel Wilson.
What's up, Rachel?
Hello.
Rachel.
How are you?
Hello, you guys.
How are you, Rachel?
Hi. Big congratulations on that 50K. Very well deserved. Couldn't happen to better people. Super happy for you guys. I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty good. I just wanted to call in to tell everybody, not only are you guys two of my favorites to work with, but I think the episode that we did on my channel is my most viewed and most commented on video that I've ever done.
Is that true? That's an honor.
My audience loved the Gordons. They were all about you guys. So thank you so much for that.
Well, Rachel, I always tell people that, you know, we're kind of big critics of Catholic ecumenia in the last 60 years since Vatican II, but we love working with, you know, Eastern Orthodox like you, Andrew, Jay Dyer. That's what I think is good ecumenism, because particularly on the cultural issues, you guys are so strong, and you might be the only full-throated. It feels like it sometimes. I don't think it's true, but the only full-throated like female fellow traveler with this stuff. And you and Steph go together like a wink and a nod when it comes to absolutely unflinching female opponents of feminism.
So true. She's like the one.
I would agree. And the thing I love about both of you, but Steph especially, is like, when we talk about those things, it's a really hot button topic, especially being a woman talking about it. I mean, you get plenty of crap being a man talking about it, but when you talk about it the way Steph and I do, it's definitely not easy, and you get a lot of accusations about grifting and stuff, but I know that Stephanie is sincere about it for the exact same reasons that I am. We're both mothers. We're both very pro-marriage, pro-family, pro-natalist, unabashedly so, and those are tough things to be. But I mean, your channel in general, I always feel such a kinship with you, because I'm like, sometimes I feel like I've picked the most controversial, difficult topics to talk about, but you really put yourself out there with all the things that you talk about, and they're such important things. Such true things that people want and need to hear, but they're the things that are going to get you the most, you know, flack and the most difficulty. And I hope that everybody out there understands and appreciates just how much you put yourself out there and stick your neck out to tell the truth, because I know that you're doing it because you really believe in it and that it has to be said and that it's very important. And it's tough in this business. It's tough enough in this business having like a YouTube channel and being a writer, and then you go ahead and pick the most controversial, difficult things to talk about. So it's tough to make a living. It's very risky. So I hope that you get tons and tons of support from everybody out there, because you guys deserve it.
Rachel, I'm not exaggerating when I say, not just as a fellow traveler to Steph, but I feel so much kinship with you and Andrew, because again, you're like a husband-wife combo that do the exact same thing. I wouldn't even say an analogous thing, just because of you know, different sect of Christianity. I'd say the exact same thing. I don't know. One thing I tell people honestly is I didn't expect as much feminist pushback from within the ranks of conservative Catholicism or traditional Catholicism. I didn't realize before I announced the case for patriarchy while I was writing it over 4 years ago on Matt Fradd's show. I didn't think that right of center Catholicism was as feminist as it is, or even trad Catholicism. So I know you and Steph take shrapnel, and that's extra hard on the ladies. But I do feel like, just one question, I do feel like I find online orthodoxy less infiltrated by feminism than Catholicism. What do you think?
It is so far. I mean, they're trying. We've got a group that's pushing for like deaconesses and things like that now. So far we've held the line pretty well. They tried to have a show on the topic on Ancient Faith Radio, and the comments were absolutely flooded with people saying, absolutely not, under any circumstances, never going to happen. So it is better. But even, you know, I've gotten a little pushback from some Orthodox ladies who think that, you know, I'm just out here trying to rage bait people, or that I'm a bad representative of the message because I was involuntarily divorced 18 years ago. You know what I mean? Wasn't my choice at all, but it just comes with the territory, number one, of being online, and number two, of talking about something that pushes on people's buttons. It pushes their buttons because most moms work now. Almost everybody who's alive today has been raised with incredible amounts of feminist propaganda. It's so saturated in the culture that people don't even realize they've been propagandized.
Yeah.
So when you or me or Steph comes out and we tell the truth about it and we point out, you know, the obvious positions that the church has always held, and we talk about, hey, you know, we don't change with the times on this stuff. God created us the way he created us. That hasn't changed just because of, you know, Susan B. Anthony or someone. it really, people take it personally. People get upset. They take it as a personal attack, and then they tend to fire back. So it's just a really difficult topic to cover, but it's really important because I love what you and Nick were talking about as far as trying to put America back together one family at a time. That's exactly how I've always looked at it, and I always feel like, despite all the hate that we get, if we're keeping even 100 families together and those children are raised in intact homes with both their parents, that's going to have a ripple effect, and it's going to be worth it. And I'm willing to take the slings and arrows for those families so that they have a shot at staying together, because it's just so tough out there.
I know you are, but I don't like to see. It's extra hard on me to see the kind of thing you went through a couple weeks back. Public, just absolute defamatory in the worst sense of the term, slings and arrows. And it was really hard when Steph's book came out to see to see my own goodly wife taking those slings and arrows. And sometimes I'm like, shoot, I feel like I don't know if I should have exposed Steph, but the message has become more potent because she's out there with her companion piece book. And because I'm sure Andrew feels the same way about you. It's like, we want to protect you guys, but I won't lie. The message is more potent because you and Steph are out there. And I keep saying you and Steph because, by the way, I mean this. There is not one Catholic woman in the internet public space that is truly a partner in crime with Steph the way you are. That anyone, I'll get questions. People be like, "What about Lila Rose? Lila Rose is a feminist. What about Carrie Gress? Feminist." I like the only woman out there that says this all the way to the hilt, to the teeth, besides Steph Gordon, is Rachel Wilson, and we love you, Rachel, and we just want to thank you so much for calling in today. There's no second. You're the only one out there doing it. So God bless you and thank you.
Well, thank you two both so much, because I mean, there were very few people. You'd be surprised how many people actually were willing to reach out and give me some support. I had some good close friends who did when all of that went down, but you guys were like the first to text me and be like, "Hey, I see what's going on. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? How are you doing?" And you guys were so incredibly supportive, and it means the world to me, and I will never forget that, because you didn't have to do any of that. You know, you guys didn't have to be like that, but you were, and I appreciate it so much. And everybody watching, support the Gordons, help them out, support their family, because they're the real deal, and you know, they're putting a lot at risk to do the work that they do, and it's so important. And I hope you guys get the place in history that you deserve, and I think that you will with all the great books, and the documentary is looking like it's going to be fire. I'm super excited for that, so very happy for you guys. Just keep going, always in my prayers, always here for you guys if you need anything.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Give Andrew our love, and I know he's out in California doing whatever, but give him a big hug for us when he gets back home, and God bless you. I just want to tell people on the note, the positive thing, but sometimes the splashback is so disproportionate that it bears decrying. Some of the stuff online that has happened I won't talk about me, because there's been some bad stuff. I've lost jobs and all that. That's nothing though compared to a lady who's supposed to be private and Steph and Rachel do what they do, write books and you know, cast privately, stream from within their own homes, get exposed to some disproportionately nasty stuff. And Steph's been exposed to some of it. What happened to Rachel with it a couple weeks back is the worst stuff I've ever seen, and it couldn't happen to a better person. Remember when something nice happens, you say, oh, it couldn't happen to a better person. Well, nasty stuff happens when you push back on the devil's main tool in the world today is against the family. You push back and you say, ladies act like ladies, men act like men. You're going to get pushback. And most people aren't willing to do it 100% of 100, one of one. And Rachel is like Steph. And there's no Catholic ladies out there in the space regularly saying it as much. But there's a goodly Orthodox lady and her husband, Andrew. We love you, Andrew.
So our next caller is the Patrick Coffin.
The
And
one
I'm
and
not
only.
even going to tell you. I'll tell you after the show what his show notes says.
Speaking of one of ones, what's up? The one and only Patrick Coffin. How are you, brother?
I am doing great, Le Gordon. I was marveling at your AI male voice. You called the World Sport Retrograde call line. Please leave your message about what you want to say. It's like an actual show now, live.
That was
Great to see
me.
you guys.
Dude, that was me. I actually take the calls. I was just doing my best robot.
Very good.
How are you,
Because
brother?
I was listening to you and Rachel and the celebratory show today, I was thinking about the word cost. The word cost is something that our Lord uses when the topic of discipleship comes up and following him. And most people, it's a good idea. It looks nice on paper to be a disciple and to be a Christian in this world today. There's a certain Hollywood cachet to it. But most people are not willing to read the fine print where it talks about cost. And I remember when you got the Golden Boot Award from Garcist in Bakersfield, I said to you, congratulations, and it just did not compute. I could just almost see your Scooby-Doo face, like, oh, what do you mean congratulations? I have kids, dude. I lost my job.
Yeah.
And I won't say I foresaw everything that was going to happen, but I knew this was going to be a huge upward bounce for you and that you just lost a leash that had been holding you back. And so I'm always happy and honored to link arms with people who are willing to pay the costs. I've paid my own costs in several ways, as you have. And it's kind of a club you want to belong to, because once you're here, once you've been tested by this fire of the devil's pushback in the world and human opinion, it's just so freeing.
It
It's
is.
not as bad as you anticipated it would be. In fact, now you can just, let your hair down and tell the truth. So
More like,
hearty congratulations.
thank you, my brother. And Patrick Coffin was there during the beer bug when we were living out of our RV near Children's Hospital of Orange County, when Abby got to come home after she had basically the left side of her brain uncoupled, and she got to come home to the RV, and we had to stay there for a couple of days because it was a mile away, and all the hospitals were ghost towns because of beer bug. So he was there waiting with me and my kids as Steph and Abby got to come home. That was really special. And I just tell everyone, Pat, like, you're a true friend. I don't just doing that. When you're talking about counting the cost of discipleship, there's also a cost to friendship, and you find out who your true friends are going through, walking the firewalk. And I always tell everyone, like, Patrick Coffin is a true friend, which is according to Aristotle, the kingliest of the virtues and the compliments you could give to someone will be there. And I remember when you told me that, I remember where I was perched in my kitchen. I was sitting on the wooden floor in my Baco, California kitchen, and I didn't quite believe it, but I could see it. And I also remember when you weren't counting the cost of having your 100,000 plus subs YouTube channel ripped. You're like, so be it. So be it. That's what a man says. I also remember some other costs that have accrued to you over the years, and your response. Speaking of, I always think of you as younger, but you're also you're like Gen X. You're Gen X, but like I was telling to Jesse and Terry, like, I just had the best guys to look up to doing this, broadcasting, podcasting, broadcasting. And you're just like, so be it. Bring it on, man. This is the cost. This is the perfect theme for you. So thanks for being a true friend. Thanks for being an exemplar, along with Jesse and Terry, who are a little older than you, in terms of speak the truth. I love my friend Plato, but I love the truth more, as Aristotle says. I love having a YouTube channel. I love being popular. I love saying things that people say, oh, that's great. But sometimes you have to, the cost to doing this, to being a disciple with a mic, is saying things that even your own crowd doesn't like. And you're arguably the best exemplar of that in the Catholic space. So thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Terry Barber's my dad. We should probably disclose that. No, that's not true. He's not my dad. There's a. I think you're pointing out the difference between conservative, which I am not, and based, which I hope I am. If you're based, then your binary lens is true, false, and good, evil. You don't care about you don't care about tribal thinking. You don't really care about the human opinion of the human leaders of your own little fiefdoms. In fact, that can really hold you back from full discipleship, what Sherry Waddell calls intentional discipleship. If you start looking over your shoulder at what your own little clique is thinking and doing, you're done for, because now you're bound up in a different kind of self-imposed fear. And I don't see any evidence that you two have ever done that.
I remember you also taught me the term never be a captive creator. It's the opposite of a captive audience. And it's what happens to 98% of the people that have YouTube channels, whether they're big or small, but especially the big ones. They're captive creators. And I always thought, I don't want to lose my YouTube channel the way my friend Pat did, but he was never a captive creator. He always said what he wanted to say and did what he wanted to do. And that's excellent, man. God bless you, and thanks for calling in, Pat. I'll talk to you real soon.
Yeah, roger that. Oh, thanks for mentioning the pilgrimage, too. I want to just get that in. We're looking forward to another journey of faith and non-church politics with Bishop Joseph Strickland, who's also been given the Golden Boot Award from the same basic cabal that you and I have.
Yes.
So thanks for mentioning that. That's going to be in mid-May. And we need so many Catholics need what I call a palate refresher. You know, you go to a wine tasting and there's one wine after the other. After a while, you need the clean water of the refresher to kind of reset your spirit to start again.
Would you call that out? What's the website for that, and what are the exact dates on your way out?
Yeah, sure. Well, it's May 15th to the 24th, and it's France. We're going to meet some of the greatest saints in history by being at their sites: Saint Therese of Lisieux, Saint Joan of Arc, Saint Jean Vianney. And we're going to be at the tomb of St. Thomas Aquinas in Toulouse before we go to Lourdes. It's patrickcoffin.media/pilgrimage, patrickcoffinmedia.media/pilgrimage. And then there's a pre-extension to Fatima and a post-extension to Catholic Spain. So that's a month of May to remember forever.
Amazing. All right, everyone go on that. If you have the month of May free, go to 1, 2, or all 3 of those destinations with Pat and with His Excellency Bishop Strickland. Hey, thanks, Pat. I'll talk to you real soon, brother.
All right, very good. God bless, guys. Godspeed. Congratulations again.
You too. Thank you, Pat.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so let's see here. Next caller, I believe, is a supporter on Locals or Subscribestar with a number to call into Tim's show. This is a new feature that we're trying out today, so we're going to be unveiling this. Hopefully it'll be nice to do it every week or so. We'll have call-ins like this. But we
Fridays,
have
every other Friday.
Oh yeah, good idea. Fridays. Patricia Miller.
Hi, Patricia.
Hi. Can you hear me? Am I on?
Yeah, you sure.
Hello. Okay, good. Well, first of all, congratulations. I love your show, both Steph's and Tim's contribution. And I've told people, Tim, you remind me of, with your prescient predictions, your finger on the pulse of where the church is, you remind me of the Catholic Rush Limbaugh.
Thank you.
So anyway, thank you so much for what you do. What I wanted to bring up is, I told the screener, is a very retrograde idea. And that is, back in the day, you might even be too young to remember this, the universal he as the subject, singular subject, was replaced by they. And that was as a nod to the feminists.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Even when that movie was, the trailer for the movie was shown, I can't wait to see that, by the way. No one is happy until they live in accordance with natural law. Should be no one is happy until he lives in accordance with natural law. And if you can't quite get to that, he or she would be preferable. And because of what you're doing with the patriarchy and with the way things are supposed to be, I think that the very foundation of discourse, which is grammar, needs to really get looked at. Now you can see, and I just use bad grammar, but with prepositions. But in any event, that's not what concerns me. It's this whole pronoun thing. And we just see this ubiquitous use of improper grammar concerning pronouns. And of course, now it's politically correct and woke and all that. But I just wanted to put that out there for your
great.
Reflection.
That's Patricia. Thank you so much. A couple things on that. Yeah, that's funny. I caught that too. Nick is out there probably listening in as he's starting to unbox his home. I catch that every time because, yes, preferentially, no one can be happy until he lives in accordance with the natural law. I don't even like he or she. He is kind of like man for mankind, and you're exactly right. So that's absolutely correct. And grammar is our basic category, controls our categorical approach to the world, to the basic quiddities of the world. And they always mess with grammar. They've been doing so. Conservatives who aren't particularly based only started bemoaning this over the last 10 years because of the T in LMNOT. But yeah, it started in the early 2000s when the Chicago Manual of Style and the APA Style Manual took those out. Also, I really appreciate the Rush Limbaugh comparison because the cool thing about Rush, he never missed a trick. He saw all the angles early, but he was always upbeat. He was always upbeat, and he always had a practical solution. So thank you for that analogy.
Next, we have Mike Rogan from Indiana, I believe. So, Mike.
Yo, Mike. What's up, buddy?
Hey, guys. This is Mike. I'll try to be quick. It's an honor to be on your show, and congratulations to you, to Tim and Steph, and everybody involved. This is wonderful. I just wanted to say real quick, I had a reversion experience in 2017, and one of my best Catholic friends was a fan of Taylor Marshall, so I started watching him, and then after a little bit, I saw he had this guy, and I was thinking, who is this slacker dude that Taylor's got on with him? It was Timothy Gordon. And then that was when all that summer of shame stuff was happening, and I appreciated your edginess. I know you guys will kind of feed off each other a little bit, but I knew you were the more edgy one, and then you have that, you got the show with your wives on, and I got to see who Steph was and hear about your daughter and your time in Italy, and I just thought, wow, this is, I got to get behind these guys no matter what. So when you went to your own channel, of course that became my favorite one to follow, and I've been following your life events since then, and praying for you and for Abby and for I got to meet you once, Tim, up at in Detroit.
Church Militant. I remember, Mike, because I recognized your name from comments, and I was like, didn't we meet at Strength and Honor in Ferndale there? Yeah, I remember you.
I'm amazed that you remember that. Yeah, that's cool.
Tim has the most incredible memory of anyone I've ever met.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah, it's remarkable. That's fantastic. And, we've gotten to chat a little bit. I've never gotten to meet Steph in person. I would love to someday. But, when with your life stuff, the thing happened in California, I thought, well, like Patrick said, I was pretty sure you're going to be okay. And I thought, well, no matter what, these guys have my support. You know, we'll go to we'll go down swinging anyway.
God bless you, man.
But I just want to thank you guys. Thank you both for what you're doing. Love it. Oh, and to bring it full circle a little bit, it was through your show that I came across, quite frankly. And
I love
back
that.
to your first caller, and
I love
I've
that.
gotten to chat with Frank a little bit too.
Frank.
So this is a great day for me. I appreciate it. I love what you guys are doing. Please just keep doing the work. Amazing things happen.
Mike, thank you so much, brother. Whenever I see Mike Rogan in the comments, I try not to read comments because it's a quick way to get blackpilled or just either depressed or a big head. You know, Pat Coffin always tells me, you know, if you do read the comments, shave off the top 10% of the bottom 10%. Too flattering, too unflattering. But I just stopped reading them mostly. But sometimes in chat, I see Mike Rogan. I always feel like I love this dude. I appreciate the support from the Midwest. And I love the cross-pollination that happens with, quite frankly, his channel and my channel. I love that I brought him people and he's brought me people. So God bless you, man.
Our next caller, I'm not sure the name, but they are from Calgary, Canada. So if that is you, please feel free to join in.
Hi, Timothy. My name's Timothy. I'm from nearby Calgary, Canada. Just wanted to say I really appreciate your show. I've learned so much. I've read through your books, gone to your online classes, and I hope to do more. And I just want to keep the channels of communications going through up here in Canada. I was wondering if it's ever possible for you to be invited to a podcast up here in Canada. I'm sure you get a lot of invitations, but would you be open to being invited to a podcast up here?
Of course. Is it yours? For a Timothy?
No, it's my friend's podcast. It's pretty established. They don't have not as much as your views, but it is growing. It's a pro-life podcast, and if you'd like, I could just send you a link through the locals.
Do
website.
that. Do that, Timothy. Oh, look, we're a couple of Timothys. That means honoring God. And my name altogether, Timothy Gordon. Yeah, we got to stick together, brother. So yeah, you got it. Thank you for the support. I have my friend Mike Pantile, who is the newest CMASC member, is not far from you in Canada, and I would love to join your friend's podcast. So we'll communicate behind the scenes. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Okay, so AJ Barker.
Mr. AJ from the north. We Are the North, Minnesota. Another longtime guest on the show. What's up, AJ? What's up, brother?
Yeah, Tim, what's up, man?
Good to hear your voice.
Do you got me?
I got you. I got you.
I thought, first off, calling in to say congrats. And when I was thinking about it, I was thinking my favorite, Royce and I call them, like Timothy Gordonisms. My favorite attribute of yours is the ability to, take a tough concept and just boil it right down to the core, and then give us a good little description of something that just hits home. I still remember, I've said this to you before, but I still remember back with the whole Bishop Barron, dare we hope that all men are saved, or maybe it was a different one. It was a Bishop Barron type one, and you were talking about the apparent good in sin versus in evil versus the true good. And Bishop Barron, as many people do in this era, they treat the apparent good like they're just confused by it.
They are.
Like they just are mistaking it. And of course, nothing can be further from both what Aristotle Thomas teaches, all that the apparent good is still a good they're going after. It's just a disordered good.
Right.
And it's out of line with the order of God's justice and that sort of relation between things. And so, anyways, always love that one. I got one question for you here.
What is it, bro? I'm gonna see you in like 3 weeks. I'm gonna see you soon. So yeah, go for it. Shoot.
Okay, my question is, my experience, reading things and trying to distill things
is that I usually have something in the works, a topic that I'm working on, that I'm, mining, and it doesn't unveil to the public until sometime down the road. There's not, a specific timeline on it, but it's like, there's something where it's like, okay, here's what I'm thinking about, here's what I'm reading on. And I usually spend some time cultivating, a lot of insights, throw a lot of stuff at the wall, see what I like, what I don't like, sort of put it into that workroom phase. So my question for you is, what is going on in Tim Gordon's mind right now related to that?
Well, so like Nick said, if you saw the top of the show, I don't like the feminism patriarchy stuff is not my favorite topic. And yet it's through my third book, Case for Patriarchy, through some powerful, bigger mouthpieces than my own that, we're friends with off channel. It really got things going. It really got, 2023 was the year, as some conservative feminists say, that conservatives turned on their own women. Well, when they're feminists, which is most conservative women. It's most Christian women. And so because of that, it perpetuated the stump speech cycle that you make after you publish a book. You go on, and I published a fourth book after the Case for Patriarchy, but I never really got into stump speeching it because the cycle just redoubled and perpetuated for the Case for Patriarchy. And Steph's book, Ask Your Husband, which kind of already was a redoubling of the round of podcasts and shows you go on. And it just, 2023, you had Pearly Things come out, and then the red pill discussion became a really mainstream thing. And it looks like it's going to be the conservative topic in 2024 already. We're 2 months into the year. And then, of course, we have the big What a Woman Is film that'll debut in fall. And I just think, I want to get back to real metaphysics and epistemology, which is what I study. I'm in a PhD program, and yet I just think the Lord's work, at least for me in the vineyard, coupled with my lovely wife Steph here, is on the marriage stuff, getting more people quality marriages, improving their marriages and getting them married. And you're going to see with our second big reveal that I it's not my favorite topic. It really isn't, but it's like it. And I won't say it's a calling, but it feels like I'm being guided providently to do this work, whether or not it's so there's more. Wait till you hear the second announcement. It's related.
So the personal work is the metaphysics.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
do you mind Thomas's commentary on Aristotle's metaphysics for that?
Yeah, well, the De Ante et Essentia, this is the big. It's actually not big.
Oh, that's so good.
The De Ante, and then the question, I think 65 in the Summa. Through these are the big. There's so many open metaphysics questions in Thomas, and it's so much harder than anything else you can study, as you know, AJ, as a student of Thomas yourself. Yeah. That it's like I get pulled away, and the feminism stuff is so obvious. It's so not academic. It's so clear in scripture. Men need to lead their families. Women need to submit. We need good Christian families. All the popes, even of the 20th century, even the kind of liberal ones, repeated it. That I'm like, do people really need to just have me banging on this drum and saying it louder, saying it slightly iterated, slightly different? The answer is yes. I'm like, I want to get back to some questions that are hard in Thomistic metaphysics, the De Ante et Essentia. But right now I'm feeling almost called, I don't throw around the term lightly, to continue there. So, God bless you, man. God bless your work.
I love you, brother. Keep up the great work. Congrats. And I'm excited for 100K. I think it'll come much quicker than 50K came.
I hope so. I hope so. I'm looking forward to seeing you. We're going to play a one-on-one, big one-on-one b-ball game in 3 weeks. We get to meet in person. I love meeting my...
A series of them.
Yeah, a series of them. Best of 7. Yeah, best of 7.
Till the legs fall off, we're going to play.
All right, brother. Yeah, you'll be here for my birthday weekend. I'm really looking forward to meeting you live. We've been friends online for 4 years now. And I love... The same thing as when I met, quite frankly, in New York. I love meeting the real ones in person. And they become like real friends. So I love you, AJ. And tell Royce hello for me. And I'll see you in 3 weeks. Peace, man.
All right, have a good one.
You too, brother.
All right, so we have an anonymous caller. I'm not sure where from.
Uh-oh. Never know with these
All
anons.
right, anonymous, let's have you. You are on air.
Well, I just heard the news today. It seems like Tim's at 50K grams like open.
I know who this is.
What's up, dude? This is Jay.
Jay Dyer. No, you didn't even have to say it once you were singing Creed. Lovely rhyme. I mean, this is Scott Stapp of Creed or Jay Dyer. What's up, Jay?
You told me to call in with a joke, and that was one of the first jokes I made at you was that you were the Creed dude. So I thought I would go back to that.
Yeah, man. Well, you're a comedian. I read your bio on. I pull up Jay Dyer, and it says comedian, and you're very bright man. And I go to your channel.
You can identify as whatever you want nowadays. So I just identify myself as a comedian, even though technically I'm not. But why not, right?
Why not?
Just say you are.
I'm just gonna start identifying as Mr. Scott Stapp.
That was so good.
Exactly.
You really hit those notes. Dude, your scream singing is on point. It's hard to scream sing like that. Anyway.
Thank you. I am known for impressions. So
That was
thank you for having me call in and thank you. Thank you for having me call in to thank you about having the Tim and Gordon show. So.
Yeah, thank you for thanking me for thanking you for thanking me about the show. You know what was last time you were on? We both were, I think, on OAN last week, and it was really cool. I got to go on with Chris Boyle, and I was talking about the feminism, patriarchy, red pill, conservative feminism thing. You were talking about like real conspiracy stuff, and you got to do your impressions. I'm like, I want to do my side talents when I go on OAN, but they only let Jay Dyer.
Start throwing impressions, dude.
Yeah, no, that was very good. You really impressed. I forget the hostess's name.
Thank you. I'll have to watch your OAN. I didn't realize you were on there. One thing I would say that I brought up in that OAN interview that relates to the woman that called in a few minutes ago is the attack on language. I know you're talking about MLA and all that, but actually what Bertrand Russell talks about attacking language back in the 1930s. He says that languages have to be destroyed to bring in this controlling sort of technocratic order. So it's been in the works for a really long time.
That's right. Bertrand Russell and others in the Fabian Society. It's such important.
Exactly.
H.G. Wells. Yeah, all of it, man. I tell people, because, recently folks will come to my channel and ask what's up with this or that, like real conspiracy. Everyone awoke to find themselves believing in conspiracies after the beer bug in 2020. The normies got red pilled or whatever. And I'm like, well, yeah, okay, just go to Jay Dyer's channel, because he's been at this for a long time, and this is you're the main spot I go to when I want something sourced, because I believe in sources as a scholar, and yet I just I want to find out whether the normies are right or not. I go to you first, and I tell people to go to you first, because your quality is second to none on that stuff. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you and I have had some great streams. I've learned from you. I consider you definitely more of a authority, more of a person to go to on, metaphysics and Aristotle, anything like that. I would defer to you. You and Frank have had some great streams, all three of us, in the past year or two. So, yeah, it's been a pleasure knowing you guys. I don't know Steph, but I've watched enough of y'all's streams that I feel like I know you guys. I watched you guys and Rachel, so... Yeah, you guys we don't agree on everything, but you guys are doing a lot of good work.
Thanks, man. It was a pleasure to meet Jamie, by the way, at Elliot Holz's house. We actually met. I'm proud.
Oh, yeah, we did get to meet.
That was cool. I wish Steph was there, but I really feel legit when I get to meet these online fellow travelers in person. And yeah, I don't agree with anyone about everything, but I really, it's like a proofing. Once you meet up and whatever we were doing, firing assault rifles on Elliot Holz's property, and then having dinner. And poor Elliot goes to bed at like 8:45. He was falling asleep at his table, and we were like, "Yo, we should peace out on here, like, because I'll be up another 6 hours. But Elliot is an early to bed guy, so it was a fun time to meet you, and you met Nick too. Anyway, I really appreciate you calling in. I appreciate your work, brother.
Did you feel like when you met Frank in person, he was the actual dude from the internet, or did he seem different? And did you feel like when you and I hung out, it was the dude from the internet, or did I seem different?
You both of you guys seemed, because you're both real ones. You acted how you acted, but it's cool to see someone that you're used to seeing talking, listening. And people have told me that when they meet me. I'm like, yeah, like, you're a good listener. That's what me and Nick were saying. We're like, Jay's a good listener. Same. Frank's just a love bug. Everyone loves Frank. But the only thing, Frank's a really good listener too. The only thing that was different about Frank, he was bigger than I thought. Like, he's a big, bulkier dude. That doesn't come through on his channel. But yeah, I really was impressed just by getting together and being able to talk and listen. It was cool.
I also encourage everybody to go look at Jay's book, Esoteric Hollywood. I've been going through it. It's amazing. Everybody knows that Tim and I love movies, and it's just, I find myself will watch something and I'll go to Jay's book and just see. I'll even ask Tim every now and again, like, oh, what does Jay think about this, that, or the other thing in some movies that we've been watching? So
for real,
great stuff.
That's real. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you guys. And thanks for having me call in. I was glad to be able to do my Creed impression, and I hope everything goes well for you guys in this next year. What are you going to do when you hit 100K?
I don't know. Have another one of these where I'll have people call in and I'll thank them for thanking me, for thanking them for thanking me, and we'll maybe do it.
I'm going to do the exact same Creed impression. Exactly. And I'm going to say all the same things that I just said now.
All right.
It'll be the exact same calling.
No, say them twice as loud because it's twice as many. God bless you, man. Keep up your excellent work.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Jay.
All right, have a good day.
You too, brother. Jay Dyer, everyone. Again, look at all the one of ones that call it. Jay Dyer is one of one. Patrick Coffin is one of one. Quite frankly, is one of one. AJ Barker, one of one. That's Terry Barber. Rachel Wilson, literally one of one other woman doing what you're doing in the Orthodox space. AJ Barker, the guy I talked to right before Jay, I think I kind of hooked them up because I'm close friends with AJ, and he went and talked metaphysics with Jay, and then I was telling Jay behind the scenes, like, AJ is a white person who runs like a 4.4 40-yard dash, was a D1 athlete. Like, these are special people, and I'm just honored to know them. So thank you for thanking me, for thanking you.
Speaking of one of one, we have a very talented woodworker, Catholic woodworker in the queue, ready to talk to you, Tim. Is this Mr. Andrew Coleman?
Andrew Coleman. Speaking of a one of one friend, how are you, buddy? Great.
Congrats.
How are you, man? How are you?
I'm doing great. Blowing and going. Got a lot of stuff on the docket for work today, but I had to stop and congratulate you.
Oh, I appreciate it so much, brother. This is Andrew Coleman. He's been on the show. His wife has been on the show on Steph's Women's Summit, Ashley, who has a beautiful young son. And do you want to shout out your woodworking, Andrew, or is that just going to make the woodworking orders and demands go through the roof? I mean, beautiful Catholic woodworking.
He's basically furnished our house with all of its finest wares.
Yeah.
I can give a shout out. People shouldn't expect it to be in the immediate future. We have a nice backlog thanks to the previous shout outs you've given me. But yeah, I do find woodworking, especially stuff for churches, but also like prayer spaces in people's homes. And specializing, I like to do wood carving. But yeah, I just wanted to, reach out to you and congratulate y'all. I don't want it to be about me. This is your big day.
Thanks, brother. Another listener who became a friend, I think, at the Baton Rouge Stop the Steal rally. When I first moved here to Mississippi, I was tasked to lead the Stop the Steal rally in Baton Rouge. We met and have become thick as thieves ever since. And again, I'm just realizing how many of my friends I made through the show and how many of my friends I've gone to Pels games with. We go to Pels games from time to time because it's a little closer to your neck of the. You're in South Louisiana, I'm in South Mississippi, and we meet up for NBA. But I love you, man. Yeah. We love Ashley. We're praying for you guys and little Joshua every day. And thank you so much for calling in.
All right, love you too, man. We should get together and play a big game of basketball next time you got people in town.
We'll consider coming in for my birthday in mid-March because AJ is coming in from Minnesota, and we've been talking shit on one-on-one for years. So we'll get a fourth. We'll get Tom to come in, and we'll play some 2-on-2. Yeah,
I'll make the snacks and bring the Capri Suns and the oranges, the orange slices for all of you.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one.
You too, Andrew. Thanks, brother.
Okay, so I think that's it for the callers right now. Do you want me to play the trailer again while I transition over and join you here in a second?
Yeah. It's careful with that word transition. Yeah, let's play that. Let's play that thing one more time.
Because we do have another announcement.
We do. We're gonna close with a second announcement, and this is kind of related to what Mr. Jordan was saying when he called in. Let's roll that thing one more time.
No one is happy until they live in accordance with the natural law. And yet there seems to be nothing more dangerous than to describe what a woman truly is and ought to be. But let's give it a shot.
Well, Nick's not here. He left the house to go to move into his new house, director of 6 films. Here's the lovely Steph. I say since Nick's gone, we just go ahead and show that sizzle reel. He would actually kill me.
He
would
would drive over here and kill us in our beds.
Yeah, he would murder me. I wish we could show that. But that's the worldwide premiere of this film that's hitting in fall, executive produced by some of the Sound of Freedom executive producers, and we have just been laboring over that thing, the admin stuff, pretty much all fall, right, Steffi?
Oh yeah, we've been very, very busy trying to think of some great things. I have been I can't tell you how relieved I am that the technology in this show worked. I've been having like panic attacks about the call-in feature, about like merging all the microphones, getting the new mixer, all of that. So
it's a lot.
Thank you everybody for bearing with me and
thank
all the
you,
callers.
Steffi, for doing, because I'm really, 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 really bad at it, as people out there might be able to imagine. And you run other guys. I watch Frank, or I watch Jay, or I watch I think like Anthony Abate on Avoiding Babylon, another New York friend of the show, close New York friend of the show. And they're like doing the stuff as they're talking, and I'm focusing, and you're just behind the scenes doing all the new tech. So thank you so much, Steffi. And like, yeah, it's just, people know how central you are to everything that happens here. Not only did you write the companion book, Ask Your Husband, to Case for Patriarchy, that surpassed it in sales. And I'm no false modesty there. I'm happy to have that. No feminism there, but also just you're the one behind the scenes making everything work. It's a beautiful expression, instantiation of what we're talking about, and I just appreciate you more than anyone. I wanted to say something a little bit surprising here. I think both of us, I appreciate you more than any other human being drawing air into the lungs here. But I do want to just say both of us appreciate not just the podcasters that have gone before, but even just a shout out we don't often give. I was thinking about Aquinas on the parental command. We both appreciate our parents, my mom and dad, your mom and dad, and we've gotten unique blessings from each of them. Like we make jokes about the boomers and stuff, and about people needing to light out and do their own thing and be independent of your parents. But we really are appreciative for some pretty unique stuff that we've gotten from each of those four. I just felt it incumbent to say
varying
this.
talents.
Talents and graces, and even just not like, oh, you gave me life, that's it, but like generosity in particular from your mom. I remember some talks I had with your dad when things were really bad. In that time period, I was talking to Steve Rummelsberg when I was working at the law firm. Your dad said some really great one-liners that stuck with me a lot, and your mom was really generous with her time sometimes, because man, I had the bad hypochondria. I was really so worried about Abby. I mean, of course, you're the main one, like on this walk, and we were just in it together. And of course, my parents have been really generous with us at various points, particularly the beginning of our marriage. So I do want to express gratitude. Maybe I don't do it often enough.
Well, I love that. I know many of our viewers watch Lord of the Rings, and one of the great gems in the Hobbit series is that last goodbye song. At the end, I think it's the end of episode 3, right? It's the Desolation of Smog.
Yes, it's the final song.
It's Billy Boyd, and it's the last goodbye, and it's great. And there's a great line in there, and he's talking about all the memories that you make along the way and the people that walked with you during certain parts of your life. And just, it's been, this 50K show for us has just been such a big deal because of the sort of content that we're bringing to people. So to hit 50K, saying some of the things that we say and some of the ways we've stuck our neck out, it's just been incredible. And it's just, there's been so many people, all the people who support on Patreon or had in the past before you got kicked off, locals, Subscribe Star, people who write us through Tim's P.O. Box. We just got a beautiful email the other day. A young lady and her fiance did their engagement shoot, and in the shoot, we were part of it from afar because they posed with our books. It was just the sweetest thing.
It was awesome.
It was just.
Can we show that?
I would love to show that. I don't know if I have that photo right now, but I'll look, and maybe you can put that on Twitter later.
I'll tweet
today.
that thing out.
Beautiful couple. They made us a part of their engagement photo. It was just great. So there's just been a lot of support that we've had just from all over the world.
Yeah.
And we just really, really appreciate everybody helping us to bring forth these messages. So I just, and I want to say, I don't say this a lot, but every Sunday I do pray for all of our enemies and people who have said things badly about us in the past. And I also pray specifically for everybody who has supported the program. So, and for your intentions. So thank you very much.
Would you just say a word about something that's quasi paradoxical for a woman like yourself? I was talking about this with Rachel, about the exposure that you've felt through over the last 5 years just by being in the background, but always close in the background, and even writing a support book to a Case for Patriarchy, Ask Your Husband. The exposure is something. I mean, I want people to know how we talk to each other behind the scenes.
Right, yeah.
And like you're a very private person.
I am, yeah. It's interesting because when Tim started this whole podcasting thing, I really wanted to just be purely behind the scenes and really never seen. So, when he started kind of encouraging me, like, I think women could really be helped by some of the things that you had to say. At first, I was fairly uncomfortable about it, but Tim's been giving me so much encouragement. And it's a little bit difficult it's a lot bit difficult, actually, to be out in the public eye. And, people are not necessarily the kindest on the internet, on Twitter.
Brutal.
But it really has been worth it. And I'm just so thankful that, whatever flaws I have or mistakes I've made in the past, I've learned from them, and I've been able to be provided a platform like this to try to help other Catholic women, converts to the faith, reverts out of feminism, to really take up their mantle and to enjoy the beauty of being a wife and a mother. And I just love doing this with Tim and being a part of this and helping him to bring this to you guys. It's something we actually really love to do together, and it's just been, gosh, how many years has it been since we've been doing this podcast? It's been so fun. It really has been.
But what people don't get, I mean, maybe they do. I think the people that are 50,000 subscribers that aren't just subscribers to hate on us, we saw that number fluctuate, go up and down some, because believe it or not, there are people that are so sickly obsessed with hatred that they'll subscribe just to mess you up and mess with your numbers and say bad things. But
I stayed up until 3 a.m. the other day because I wanted to get that picture because this was happening so much. It would be, we would announce and be like, we're about to hit our 50K. And then all these trolls would like specifically unsubscribe so that we'd have to rebuild that subscriber base. So I stayed up until like 3 the other day until it clicked right over to 50,000. And I was like, snapshotted that. I was like, okay, we're done. We did it. We crossed the line.
I don't care if we go back to 48K now. We're doing the 50K show. It only took a month.
It's so true.
But like what you guys see with Steph is really what you get. Like she is I think world's most interesting person, but really introverted, extroverted, and you silly, like to goof around, make jokes, but you don't want the publicity. So when John Morehouse, God repose his soul, good Catholic man, asked you, begged you to write the book with the same name as your moniker on Twitter at the time, which was Ask Your Husband, you literally said, just please, I want to be only behind the scenes. I can write a book. You thought it would take you like 10 years.
I did.
I'm not a writer. I'm like, you'll write it fast. You have so much to say to women on this. And it took you less than a year, like I told you it would. But you're like, I just want to be behind the scenes. I want to be safe. The only thing that ever coaxes me out of the cave is defending Tim on Twitter, and that's why you got rid of your Twitter account. But you are a private person, and it's just funny. People like you and Rachel Wilson are like one of a kinds who are just telling women it's beautiful to be a wife.
So true.
And people say, well, wife and a mother. Well, yeah, but it's beautiful to be a wife. And young women see that with you, and it doesn't surprise me that they're like, I want to be pictured with Steph's book, Ask Your Husband, in my wedding photos. It's beautiful. It's striking. It's always a little surprising. But then I think about it and I think, no, it's not. Because they're not hearing that from their aunt or from their friends, the same peer, or even from their grandmas. I mean, everyone's grandma is even feminist. And you just hear this beautiful lady, Steph, who you know is saying it and believing it and living it to the hilt, like I said to Rachel. And you just want to go and be in that truth. And that truth is Jesus, Christian patriarchy, live out his truth. That's what we've done. And we're so blessed, Steffi, to have a good enough friend to make us this suggestion. So do you want to make the second announcement now, what it is, what we're doing?
So our second announcement is that Tim and I are going to be doing a new book together this time. And it is, we had a lot of encouragement from our friend Jordan, who was one of the callers, about our video, The 9 Secrets to Catholic Marriage. And
which was so influential on him.
It was a really fun show for me. I really loved doing that show. I didn't realize we get a lot of people who write us about that show, but our friend Jordan in particular was very encouraging to us. And he said, I rewatch that show every couple of months just to kind of get a refresher. It would be great for you guys to do a book together. So we thought, okay, maybe we should do that. So Tim and I will be working on that. It'll be 9 Secrets to Catholic Marriage. And it'll basically just go over a lot of the things that we had in that video, maybe a couple of extra more special things too.
Yeah, which will be 9 chapters, and that will be a banger. And we're just gonna, I think, self-publish that one. So that's, like I say, we have coming out in fall a movie that's going to break the internet and break whatever Amazon home streaming. Hopefully you can
We'll see how long we last there.
Yeah, we'll see how long we last there. But lots and lots of interest from lots and lots of folks on that. That's all I can say right now. But that'll be on your screen. And then because I am first and foremost a writer, Steph and I are going to team up on this other book, 9 Secrets of Catholic Marriage, because it's a well-watched video of ours, but it needs to be out there where people can consult it and have a little more detail than we had in that show. Right. And those 2 facts, those 2 announcements attest to what I said to AJ on the phone. This isn't my favorite topic, but it's, I'm not saying
the one we find ourselves in, right?
It's the one we find ourselves in. You bloom where planted.
Right. That's true.
So I love you. Thank you for being my best chum, best good friend. as Bubba and Forrest say. And thank all of you. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting Steph. It's nice when you guys go and take my class or take her class, read our books, and particularly come to the aid on the internet when people are being nasty, like what Rachel Wilson was talking about. That there's a place for that, to lend your voice and say, no, these people have done whatever you think that we've done that's good, whatever scant talents a human being is given by our Creator. It's blessed, and it's something that makes the Lord happy when
it's all
we
credit
stick
to
up for
him.
Him. It's all credit to Him, and it shouldn't be overshadowed even by people's many weaknesses. That's something we consider in this penitential season of Lent. Is look, I'm full of them, you're full of them, all of us are, but we're all just trying to do what we can in our unique way to clean up the vineyard, this side of the eschaton. I love you, Steffi.
Love you.
We, in a less specific way, in a broader, more ecumenical way, we love all of you guys out there. And thank you for tuning in to the 50,000 sub show. Here's to 50,000 more. I'm not joking, though. Get ready for the book, 9 Secrets of Catholic Marriage. That's going to set off the many Catholic feminists out there again. A lot of them are now calling themselves Catholic anti-feminists, and they're still Catholic feminists. Aside from Rachel Wilson, they're pretty much all feminists out there. And get ready for that movie. That thing is going to go large.
It's going to be so exciting. Should I
What
take us
a
out
woman
on some Gregorian chant here with our new buttons?
Let's do it with the new buttons.
Alrighty.